What if I told you that the fear of failure isn't weakness, but the strongest survival instinct you have? Fear can paralyze us, making us give up before we even begin. We all know that feeling of hesitation, whether it's trying out for the basketball team or starting that business we've been dreaming of. But what if that feeling isn't weakness? What if it's our brain's way of protecting us, a survival instinct kicking in? Let's dive into it. The fear of failure isn't just a feeling. It's a full-on emotional response. Psychologists call it atychophobia, which comes from two Greek words, meaning without victory, phobia, meaning fear. This fear is rooted in how our brain handles risk and rejection. To understand this fear, we need to take a journey back in time to our ancestors in their natural habitat, the African savanna. Back then, life was a constant struggle for survival. Failure wasn't just embarrassing, it could mean being exiled from the tribe, facing rejection from a potential mate, or enduring ridicule from fellow hunters after a failed hunt. All of these could mean one thing: losing your life. So our brains evolved to see failure as a real threat. Now fast forward to today, we've progressed. We've built cities, invented the internet, and come up with all kinds of fancy gadgets. Yet our brains are still wired the same way. When we think about failing, our brain lights up with anxiety. It's almost like an alarm going off. And that's because when we fear failure, our amygdala, which is the part of the brain that processes emotions, activates. It releases stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, getting our body ready to run or freeze, also known as fight or flight response. This response is great when we're facing a saber-toothed tiger, not so much when we're facing a presentation at work. But here's the problem. Our brain still reacts to failure the same way, even though in most cases, failure today isn't as dangerous as it was back then. Think about it. If you strike out in baseball, you don't get exiled from the tribe. If you fail an exam, you don't die. Yes, there might be disappointment, and maybe some extra studying needed. But most of the time, failure today doesn't carry the same weight as it did in the past. So why is the fear of failure still so strong? It's because our brain's default setting hasn't caught up with our evolution. It's like we're still living in the Stone Age when failure meant life or death, except now it doesn't. The result is that we often find ourselves giving up before we even start. We procrastinate, avoid challenges, or make excuses. We stay stuck in our comfort zones, missing out on opportunities that could change our lives. So how do we handle this fear? The first step is understanding that this fear is real, that it's an ancient instinct trying to protect us from harm. It's not a sign of weakness. It's our brain doing its job. The next step is to realize that while this fear is real, it doesn't have to control us. We are more powerful than our brain's default settings. We have the ability to choose how we react to fear. When you feel the fear of failure creeping in, take a moment to acknowledge it. Remind yourself that this fear is old. It's here to protect you, but you're safe now. It's no longer life or death. Then take small steps. Start with baby steps. If you want to ask out your crush, strike up a conversation first. If you want to start that business, create a simple plan. Break down big goals into smaller ones. Each small win will build your confidence, proving to yourself that you can handle the fear and move forward anyway. Failure is inevitable. It's not the opposite of success. It's part of it. Every successful person out there has faced countless failures on their path to success. Failure is feedback. It tells us what didn't work so we can adjust and try again. It's proof that we had the courage to try, to put ourselves out there. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. We all have the same potential inside of us. It's what we do with those hours and that potential that counts. Don't let ancient fear stop your future. Fear is a powerful force, but you are more powerful. You have the power to choose, to try, to fail, to learn, and to grow. That's the human experience. And it's in trying, failing, learning, and growing that we become more than we were yesterday. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments.